There is no larger wretched hive of scum and villainy on the internet than Reddit, and of course the Reddit mods over in the Assassin's Creed unofficial subreddit are going full totalitarian dictator when it comes to banning anybody that even dares dispute that Yasuke was not a samurai. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle. We're going to go ahead and get into this article because yes, Assassin's Creed subreddit promises bans for anyone who keeps complaining about historical accuracy and Yasuke. We're all exhausted of this tedious discussion. Yes, you are not allowed to have any sort of free speech if it comes to ideas that I don't like.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Oh my goodness, complaining about Yasuke's inclusion in Assassin's Creed Shadows will now get you booted from the unofficial subreddit. You know, the place on the internet where people go, frankly, people who don't have lives, because why on God's green earth are people still using Reddit? However, they go to discuss the various upcoming thoughts and ideas about video games or social ills or really anything, because what isn't there a subreddit for? I'm sure there's probably some people complaining about me on some subreddit somewhere. Whether or not Yasuke, an African man who briefly served feudal lord Obu Nobunaga in the 16th century Japan, was really a samurai is a somewhat interesting question for scholars of the era, and comes down to how the historical records of his life pair with the use of the term samurai at the time, which, to be fair, as I'm sure you can guess, they're going to go ahead and make this article all about, oh, the historical accuracy. These gamer chuds are making an argument for historical accuracy when, for one, that is never what we've argued from the beginning. And again, I don't have much of a dog in this fight since I find the Assassin's Creed games to be mid at best. The first two were pretty damn good, and I never really played anything after that because they didn't just hold me enough to keep me going. However, I can't deny it is an incredibly popular franchise that people truly love, or at least love up until the last couple of games, which were very divisive amongst the community. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, gamers are not talking about the historical accuracy. No, we're pretty much coming out and saying as it is, we don't think that a black dude should be the main character in this game because Assassin's Creed has been begging to come to Japan for pretty much 20 years now, and they finally get there, and their first DEI initiative is to take the main character, which should be Japanese, and replace him with a black guy. No offense, I just don't think that's a very good thing to do. You know, there's a lot of games out there with black leads, there's a lot of games out there that star black characters, ain't no issue with a black dude being in a game, but when this is your first foray into Japan, your first outing, and you're doing it in the 16th century feudal Japan era, the Edo period, I do believe, yeah, no, maybe make a Japanese dude the main character. And yes, I get it, there's the argument, oh, there's the Japanese female. Okay, yeah, sure, go for it. Like, that's awesome, but let's be real, that's not what gamers are asking for, many of which, I mean, to the point where even Ubisoft had to issue some semblance of an apology to Japan. It was more of a statement than an apology, but still issued one nonetheless. We've talked about that in previous videos. We've talked about Assassin's Creed in previous videos because it is the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to content creation. But at the end of the day, I'm more focused on, I don't care about, you know, the political aspect of what's going on. That's been covered to death. I care about Reddit, and particularly the official, well, it's unofficial because all Reddits are unofficial, but the unofficial Assassin's Creed subreddit banning anyone for even attempting to have this discourse, and they're only doing it on one side of the aisle. That is a massive, undertaking because there's a lot of individuals that are going to have opinions on this. There's a lot of individuals that are going to have thoughts, may not even be, bad or negative thoughts. Of course, this article and the individuals at Reddit claim that they are all in bad faith, but we'll get to that when the article does. Biographer Thomas Lockley, who has been exposed as a fraud, by the way, as one example, has said that Yasuke was indeed one of Nobunaga's many samurai, the title simply referring to warriors who served a lord. When Yasuke was revealed as one of the two protagonists in the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows, however, an inquisition into his samurai-ness was launched not by scholars, but by onlookers who decreed it unacceptable for a black person to headline a work of historical fiction set in Japan. Complaints about historical inaccuracy and forced diversity abound. Yes, forced diversity. That's absolutely what this is. Let's be 100% honest. This is absolutely about forced diversity. Anyone that does not think so, tries to claim otherwise, are outright lying or are purely ignorant, one of the two. But Yasuke is a case of forced diversity. Why? Because it's a French company who is very entrenched in DEI, is very much have an ESG agenda, and they have been doing anything and everything they can to work that into their games and try and make some sort of social statement. So, I mean, they're not even hiding it. They've openly talked about their DEI and ESG agendas. So, yeah, the diversity here is completely forced. You take some unknown who, while he has been featured in anime and video games in the past, never to some amazing extent, because at the end of the day, he is a footnote in Japanese history, and you make him the main character of the the game, yeah, you could say, oh, well, it's a work of fiction. It is a work of fiction. However, if that's not the work of fiction that the gamers want, the gamers who are the paying customers, the gamers that, you should be placating to because they're the ones who will be giving you money for the game, and then you insert this black character who literally was a nobody in the face of the overwhelming, large history of feudal Japan, yeah, people are going to assume it's forced, especially when Ubisoft has bowed and kowtowed to the ESG mob. As of the week, the moderators of the unofficial Assassin's Creed subreddit are done hearing about it. Thanks, Games Radar. With the reveal of Assassin's Creed Shadows, there has been an influx of certain individuals spilling into various communities online, such as this subreddit, and raising arguments about historical accuracy, wrote the mods in a now closed thread, as we are all exhausted of this tedious discussion that has been endlessly taught to death, not to mention exacerbated by a recent official statement from Ubisoft. We would like to, okay, so they're now blaming Ubisoft for making the problem worse when Ubisoft made the statement purely because objectively there were Japanese individuals criticizing this. There was an influx, as they say in this article, of people debating this, many of which were Japanese who felt their culture was being disrespected when it's their first time getting into the world of Assassin's Creed. And you're trying to, I don't want to, give any credence to Ubisoft. I don't want to defend Ubisoft. But now you're upset that they put out a statement which, again, basically acknowledges the problems with how this game is being executed in terms of its characters, and you're throwing a fit about that. What was Ubisoft supposed to do? Well, for one, they could have stayed quiet. Option two, the better option would have been not have Yasuke as the main character in the game. But either way, the amount of coping and seething in this article is frankly phenomenal. We would like to give a final reminder to those participating in the debates as to what exactly this franchise entails and why there was never any point to these discussions to begin with outside of a thinly veiled bad faith intent.
It's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
At every single case of someone questioning this is a bad faith intent. That is what this, again, this isn't the gamer writing this or PC Gamer. No, this is what the mods on the subreddit have stated. So apparently you cannot, in any sort of good faith, come in and ask why this is happening, which is really strange because I am friends with many a black person who've been calling this into question. Kate has been calling this into question. Craze has been calling this into question. Mugen Lord has been calling this into the question. I know multiple. Atreus has been calling this into question. I was able to just off the top of my head name 4 black dudes who also make content on YouTube that are very baffled at this Yasuke situation. But apparently, they're also coming in with bad faith and bad intent just for bringing it up. It's almost like you only have one narrative and it's the narrative you want to roll with, because Reddit, which used to be a bastion of free speech on the internet, by the way, there was a time when Reddit was incredibly based, has now succumbed to, again, just like Ubisoft, just kowtow to the woke mob. The statement from Ubisoft referenced in that passage was an apology posted to the developer for generally causing concern with the Japanese community over details in Shadow's promotional material so far, possibly such as Ubisoft's use of a real-life reenactment group's flag or a potential error regarding the placement of a Torii gate. On the topic of Yasuke, Ubisoft acknowledged that his samurai status is a matter of debate and discussion, and emphasized the other lead, Naoe, is a Japanese shinobi. As the subreddit mods get into their post, many viewed Ubisoft's statement as a counterproductive acknowledgement of mostly bad faith complaints that never involved genuine concern over accurate cultural representation or the integrity of the historical record in the first place. If that is the case, if that is the case, then why was this statement made and directed towards the Japanese audience? Because this statement wasn't made towards us random onlookers here on the internet or on in the West. No. Look, for all Ubisoft faults, their marketing team, their PR team realized, wow, the Japanese are kind of pissed about this. We need to run some damage control. And they did it horribly. The damage control was abysmal. It was not an apology in any way, shape, or form. It was a statement, nothing less. It was basically, we hear you, we see you, we get what you're saying. Fuck you, we're doing what we want anyway. That was their apology. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, the PR team looked at all the vitriol coming out of Japan and thought, we need to say something. So if you guys over at PC Gamer can't even understand that, then you are only showing your true colors as nothing more than internet propagandists. It is kind of amazing that we are in this state in video gaming where PC Gamer or any of these other gaming articles and outlets that used to hold such, they really did have a bit of a credibility to them. They used to have something about them that we would come to them for their news, their takes, and they are purely propaganda machines. I'm not saying anything new here, but Reddit, on the other hand, I want to focus on the Reddit side of this because It is astounding that only one side of the debate is getting banned. It shows that Reddit has, or at least the mods on the official Assassin's Creed subreddit, have an allegiance to a particular side. The Reddit thread, or the Reddit place, is not a conglomeration of Assassin's Creed fans from all walks of life, all religions, all races, all creeds. Ironically enough, throw the word creed in there. The fact of the matter is, no, the Reddit is a liberal, woke hive mind where you have to bow down to the current narrative, accept that Yasuke was a samurai, or even not accept it was a samurai, but don't question it. If you're gonna play this game, and if you're gonna be on this subreddit, by all means, hold that belief that Yasuke wasn't a samurai and that he shouldn't be in this game, but you are not dare allowed to question it. Which, what's the point of the Assassin's Creed subreddit then? Because you can have fans debating. We used to have fans debating all throughout our time on the internet, or prior to the internet, when you go into the comic book shop or you go to the video game store or whatever it may be, and fan debates were a thing of beauty. It showed the utmost passion we had for the franchise. You want to remove all passion, save for the passion that disagrees with you. And that passion isn't a passion for Assassin's Creed, or isn't a passion for video games, or a passion for discussion. It's a passion for falling in line with the agreed upon ideology. Otherwise, you risk getting axed from what might be your favorite subreddit of your favorite video game. Again, why are you on Reddit to begin with? Get a life, get out, touch grass. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I bring you nerdy news every day. Not always about the video game industry, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course get involved with over 80 other vital idols. We're a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought. So if that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.